Hello, hello, welcome in. So ultimately, the plan for today is to finish up the Splatoon 3 main story. I have not decided on whether I'm going to go through and start the DLC today. I'm probably not going to, just for the sake of, you know, keeping it separate, I guess. But what I will do is, once I go through, finish the main story, which will probably take me about an hour, I will go into my main save, and I will do that challenge level, that you get for, completing, every kettle. Because I know for a fact I have that. And I've beaten it in the past. But, you know, just for the sake of seeing how far I've come. I haven't played that in quite a while. Since I, like, full cleared the story and whatnot. Which will have been a few years at the very least. In fact, that's what actually made me as good at the game as I am now. Because there are a lot of things that you need to know for that aren't fully explained, like squid surging and whatnot. And you need to know how to do those in a pretty decent manner in order to beat the stage. So, you know, that sort of thing I've definitely gone through and, you know, whatnot. But anyway, I'm gonna get started, because why not? Just to check. Okay, it looks like the line is not prevalent. Okay. So we're here on Island 6. I did teleport over here and then come back on that one, but so this one utilizes pretty much a necessity to play most of the stages, if not all of them. Just for the sake of getting up to where you need to get to. I don't remember which direction is the best. I'll grab that. Believe... No, okay, I need more hero points. Nope, I'm good. This feels right. How much do I need for this? 1,200. I am 100 away. Torture tour. Sure, why not? What's the worst that could happen? All right. I cannot toss anything up there. Okay. I'd love to be able to toss a bomb, like, over this, but I can't quite reach. Don't necessarily want to use it there. Is that my only option? It looks like that's my only option. Okay. I want to make sure I needed to go this way before I committed. Hello. Damn. Alright, and over here. Alright, and that is cleared. Hello, Ray, welcome in. Over here. Okay, perfect. And that is this stage. Cleared. Get rid of this. And from here... Come on. And from here we do the boss. That was it. That's all we needed. Should I fear being spoiled? Rather play other stuff. Yeah, that's fair. I'm reaching the end of it. Like, this is the second to last boss. The story's really fucking basic. I'll give it that. There's kind of one thing that you don't really, like... there's really only one thing that can be spoiled. Gus, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I really appreciate it so much. Thank you. And welcome in, by the way. It's been a bit. But yeah, there's not really much other than, like, who the final boss is. But, I mean, at this point, the game's been out for almost 3 years, so... I'm kind of at the point where it's like, I'm not really worrying too much about spoilers. Hold it right there. This treasure isn't yours. You can't have it. I wouldn't fight you if I didn't have to, but this is for Splatsville. Yeah, that's realistically the only, like, spoiler aspect to this. is the final boss. That's it. That's it. That's this boss. Do that 3 times. Train 2 artillery. That's what I've heard. I watched specifically Jmoji play this a while back, and he mentioned that this is just Mario Sunshine boss. Now, granted, I've never beaten Mario Sunshine. I can't say I've never played it because I've played a small bit of it. Found him. There we go. And the rule of 3s. It's big man time. Oops. Yep. It was gonna happen eventually. I was not careful that life. Oh, come on. Found you. There we go. And that's 3. Oof. Well, that was a flop. I really tried, too. Yay! Actually do this. Bop, there we go. Captain says you crushed it, Agent 3. He also had some choice things to say about Deep Cut. Wouldn't want to be them right now. Hello, Clueless. Welcome in. Come in, do you copy? Gramps, we read you. Not exactly loud and clear, but we read you. What's up? You okay? What's happening where you are? Finally got this dad blasted thing working again. Okay, so here's my report. I'm being held captive by someone or something called calling themselves Mr. Grizz. I heard that loud and clear. As for where I am, beats me, but my left knee is aching something fierce, which means I'm at altitude, somewhere high up. Well, that's a pretty good hint, but there's only one place that fits the bill, right? Injured knee may have betrayed this location, but don't expect any workers' comp. Thank you for this, by the way. I won't underestimate the legendary leader of the Squidbeak Splatoon again. I'll just go ahead and deal with you now, before you become an actual inconvenience. Wait a minute. Hey, what's that? What do you think you're doing? Yeah. Huh, that didn't sound great for Gramps. Gramps, we're coming from you. Stay strong. As soon as we figure out how to get to wherever you are. Do you think some of this stuff we collected might come in handy? Why don't we take a closer look at it? Hold on. Let me just quickly do this. I get enough for one upgrade. That's it. Damn, unfortunate, because I would love to get that. Okay. We'll do that. For the last time, I am ready. Gramps has to be up there somewhere. There's too much fuzzy ooze in the way. Even Small Fry isn't that hungry. I just know this would be useful somehow if we could combine it all. You've always got the answer, Agent 2. It's totally worth a shot. Let's do it. By the power of chowder, combine! Wow! Look out, Fuzz! Here comes the captain! Okay, Captain, go! I'm surprised this didn't turn into, like, you know, a special or anything like that. Maybe in the next game. You did it, Agent 3. Now then, smoothness aside, let's save Gramps. And here we go. Captain, are you okay? Simply can't go on. You sprained a tentacle? Well, we won't let you down. We'll go on without you. Come on, Agent 3, let's... Wait, 1 hot minute. That's right, it's us. You didn't think we were going to give up, did you? Tell me you didn't. Giving up is for the weak. Do we look weak? Last chance. If you don't want to tangle a deep cut, please put down the treasure and walk away. What they said. Oh, that thing? Yeah, we're done with it. It's all yours. You're done with it? Done with treasure? What's wrong with you? Funny, but don't worry about that. If this pile of junk makes you happy, you can have it. Translate too well to paintball. Fair enough. I absolutely love that line from Callie there. She's like, what is wrong with you? Plenty, but don't worry about it. Work off of to like push or do what it would be called. Yeah, I mean that's fair. That would be something Nintendo would have to do. But, you know, the sound effect when the captain you know, did that move with it was the sound of a special charged, like a special being fully charged, which is just, you know, one of those things where it made me think could have been a special. You know, who knows what we'll get with that though. I am excited to see what Splatoon 4 has in store though, given, you know, how the games have been steadily improving. This is a trick, right? You expect us to believe you're just going to give us the treasure after, well, everything? Wait, why am I fighting this? Wow, thanks. I feel kind of not good about each of us fighting you to the death. Our bad. You're just giving us this. Seriously, such a boss move. Actually, why don't you be our boss? New boss, can I get a raise? Boss Marie? Looks like you have your own employees now. Have fun with that. Oh, I'm going to have to approve their time cards, aren't I? Oh, yeah, no. Splatoon 4 isn't coming for another, like, 2-3 years. Like, almost guaranteed. I wouldn't be surprised if the Splatoon team was not given a Switch 2 to work with. Like, a Switch 2 dev kit. So they have to start making it now. I would not be surprised with that. Because, I would not be surprised if, Raiders worked on the Switch 1. I am half surprised, though, that, like, Splatoon 4 is not, like, a launch title. Because that's one of those things where it really feels... Did they announce it as a Switch 2 exclusive? I don't remember that specifically. I just remember them announcing it. Because I watched that video, but I don't remember, like, specifically if they mentioned it was an exclusive or not. Okay, so it is an exclusive. Clues, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Oh, hello. I completely forgot about you. Damn it. I remember hating this section. How far do you go? Not far enough. There we go. Okay. I remember this section was decently annoying, so thank you for the lurk, Ray. I appreciate it. Okay, I do have to go down first. Alright, nothing I can realistically do there. Yeah, nothing I can realistically do there. Okay. Let's see. Let's do this one. Okay. It is safe to say I don't remember how a lot of this works. Or, like, where to go for a lot of this. There's key number 1. Just trying to remember how this works. It's been so long since I've done this. The ability would be a thing of wonder. Hey. Fairly just parts of. Yeah, that's one of those things you'll learn about me real quick, is I am not a competitive player by any means. Okay. There we go. Hello, Country Shape. Welcome in. You're good. Yeah, no, one of the things, I'm not a competitive player, so I don't really have that mindset. And especially as well, one of the big things is I do not play metas. Like, I am more likely to specifically avoid a meta than to play a meta. There are very few times where I will, like, actively play a meta. Okay. No? Oh. I'm dumb. It's a lot simpler than... It's a lot simpler than I was making it out to be. Ta-da! Yeah. Oh. Key. There we go. Oh, right. There we go. Now I've got it. Oh, completely off topic, but I watched the Donkey Kong direct before stream. I have to say, when it was first announced, I felt nothing towards it. I never played really any of the Donkey Kong games. It looked neat, but not something I was super, like, into. It was just kind of like this is neat. Cool, we get a new Donkey Kong game. That was it. But I watched the direct, and it actually succeeded in getting me excited for the game. People travel Country Shape. It's less surprising than you expect. Yeah, not even that, but just the story. Like, I am curious though. So obviously, I don't know how many of you have watched it or whatnot. So Pauline is in it as a child. It makes me really curious how the timeline works with the original Donkey Kong game, because the damsel in that game is supposed to be Pauline, which means that she had to be an adult in that game. But that Donkey Kong is Funky Kong, who is also in the new Donkey Kong game. So it doesn't quite make sense in timeline sense and that sort of thing. But, given what we know, it looks like it's going to be a sort of, like, spiritual prequel to Mario Odyssey. Be the original Donkey Kong for a long time now. Well, yeah. But it's just one of those things. Well, no, because, okay, we're getting into Mario Kart here. In the, words. In the, trailer for Mario Kart World, they had a poster involving all of the, original characters from the SNES, Mario Kart. And what they did is, you know, they had Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Toad, Donkey Kong, all that. However, in the original SNES Mario Kart, it was not Donkey Kong in the game. It was Donkey Kong Jr. Therefore, even just recently, they equated Donkey Kong Jr. to, they equated Donkey Kong Jr. to the current Donkey Kong. Only time Cranky stayed to be such DKC. Man.
Drink water, you dehydrated bitch.
Hello, Bob. Thanks for the hydration. Never mentioned again. Disproven countless times since then. I mean, makes sense. Interference, which happens, sometimes happens. Yeah, it's entirely one of those things where it's like, I'm not saying that they definitely are, because I definitely know that, when it comes to, the current state of the games, they're trying to move away from, connections like that. Isn't very into active lore anymore. Yeah, exactly. Like, even just looking at the Zelda series, right? Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom moved away from the timeline. Pretty much saying, hey, guess what? This is no longer part of a greater timeline. It's like, well, okay. Sure, I guess. And I get from the standpoint of, specifically, they want you to be able to pick up any of the games and understand what's happening without needing to play any of the other games. Which I get. And, you know, good for them. But it does kind of become an issue when you have stories that have actually, like, big worlds, and then you just kind of throw everything about the world out. For the sake of, you know, whatever. Beyond character name. Why not just say that? Yeah, it's like... I don't know. It's just one of those things that, like... It's a peeve of mine because I love storytelling. Like, when it comes to stuff like storytelling, I've written my own stories before. I took film classes and creative writing classes. Like, it's something that I do actively, like, enjoy. And so when you see something kind of, like, destroy a story for the sake of, well, we want... Like, they can do whatever they want. But it peeves me when people take a story and kind of destroy its fundamentals. One of the reasons why I didn't like the new Lilo and Stitch movie. They took a pre-existing story that was really well written and decided that they wanted nothing to do with the original story and wanted to like shove a new sort of story. And it's like, if you're gonna do that, just make a whole new story. I don't know. It's one of those things that tends to peeve me a bit. Like with Zelda. I loved that everything was interconnected. I loved that they had... Well, that's not what I'm saying. I loved that they had, like, all this, like, built-up lore, and, like, they had an overarching story. From the standpoint of in Skyward Sword, they had a curse placed upon the spirit of the hero, the blood of the goddess, and the hatred of demise to be in an endless cycle. I like that they introduced that as a way of, like, these games are all connected, but they're all their own stories. That, like, that was a really cool thing to me. And then Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom came in and said, it's so far in the future, like... I don't know. It was just one of those things that, like, it didn't sit right with me. Because, like, you did have the split timelines. That was very heavily implied. Like, Ocarina of Time directly had multiple timelines, and they had specifically, like, they had multiple timelines where some of these games interacted with Ocarina of Time. Then they set Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, like, so far into the future that the timelines just don't exist anymore. And it's like, well, okay, how are you going to play around that? Because now, in-world, right? In-world, you need an explanation for why the timelines reconverged. Or you need an explanation of what happened to the timelines. Like, what timeline is this in? So it's one of those things where it's like, in-world now, there's this plot hole that got introduced because they wanted to move out from the existing timeline. From purely a dev standpoint, it now has a plot hole in the games. And that's what I don't like about it. It's not that they threw out the old Zelda stories. That was just an example I had. It's that with the introduction of these new games, now there's this giant hole where it's like, you need to fill it somehow, otherwise it's going to feel incomplete as a story. It's a break in the story. Well, yeah, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Like, they're my favorite Zelda games to date so far. It's just a matter of, from an overarching storytelling standpoint, right? And purely from storytelling. Like, this idea with the multiple timelines, right? Now, if they said that Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild took place years in the past, I'd have zero issue with it. If these games took place long before Skyward Sword, before the curse was in place, I'd have no issues with it. And I could fully see that being a feasible standpoint. And I know I've kind of paused gameplay on this for a bit, but from that standpoint, you could take it like, for example, you have the foundation of Hyrule, and I guess slight spoilers about Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. You have, like, the founding of Hyrule, right? The initial founding of Hyrule. You have the Imprisoning War. And you have, like, all this sort of stuff. All these, like, sages, like, sealing away different things. Then, something happens with the goddesses, causing Skyloft to be made out of Hyrule. Then starting Skyward Sword, and the refoundation of Hyrule. I think that would have been multiple times better than it's sometimes so far in the past that none of the other games have any weight. You know, it's just one of those things. From a storytelling perspective, that's kind of my thoughts on that. But yeah, no, the new Lilo and Stitch movie was... Okay, let me be clear with this. From a movie standpoint, it was not bad. From a purely movie standpoint, it was not bad. From a Lilo and Stitch standpoint, it was horrible. As a remake, it was horrible. Well, okay, Bob, I want to point this out. As a movie, right? Now, I'm not saying it was great. I'd give it a 6 as a standalone movie. They introduced Jumba as a villain. They kind of kept that plot going through. And it's not like they had... from a story standpoint, right? Jumba being the villain, Pleakley being just this dumbass character, right? And kind of trying to be like this foil to Jumba wasn't horrible. Now, I don't like that they did the human actors for it, and the actor for Jumba didn't do a great job, in my opinion. But from, like, that standpoint, that wasn't bad. You know, from the standpoint of, Lilo being this, like, chaotic kind of character. Right. Acleo. That's exactly it. Because we have it to... Because we compare it to the original Lilo and Stitch, it feels very bad. Right, Bob. I will say, from that standpoint, it is very basic, but it's also a kid's movie. And I'm not saying that kids' movies should be incredibly basic. Just look at How to Train Your Dragon, right? And, like, that is my basis for a really good go-to kids movie, right? In fact, I think the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy is one of the greatest film trilogies of all time. But it is a kids movie. And not all kids' movies are going to be incredibly complex. The original Lilo and Stitch was quite complex for a kids' movie. Even back when it came out. Right, exactly, Aclium. Because we can compare it to the original. If the original never existed, I think a lot of people would be like, it's a kids' movie. Oh well. That would be my honest thought about it. The biggest issue I have with it as a movie, in its entirety, is the fact that they push the idea of Ohana means family and family means no one left behind, right? Then Nani goes off to college and leaves Lilo behind? From that standpoint, that moment, from a base movie without the original to compare it to, that felt wrong. But that was the only real gripe I had with it as its own movie. Now, from the standpoint of Lilo and Stitch, they wrecked Jumba's character and his whole arc throughout the movie. Lilo was a lot more of a brat than in the original. Her character was kind of just troublemaker as opposed to bullied kid acting out. Now, it's been a while since I've seen the original, so bear with me. And the removal of Gantu, really, you could really feel it in the movie. Because Gantu really was a huge driving factor pushing Lilo and Stitch to be, like, to change. That was the changing point for Stitch, right? That was the driving factor. Whereas in the new movie, it felt like with Jumba being the villain and trying to capture Stitch, it felt a lot more of Stitch acting for the sake of sticking with Lilo for most of the movie, to the point where the change doesn't really feel real. Because we have the original to compare it to. Because the original was such a good... such like an impactful change. And that's why I think it's a bad movie. Is because the original was so much better at like pushing its ideals. Anyway, I digress. Now we've had a few false Gramps signals, but I'm pretty sure he's on that launch pad. How in the world are we supposed to get over there? I don't know for sure, but if we can get into the building on the right, maybe we can find an answer. Okay. Found out people cared. Yeah, exactly. The big difference with, the big difference between Jumba's character is, in the original, he was a mad scientist, but he cared about 626. 626. 626. He didn't want, like, he cared about Stitch and didn't want him falling into the hands of the Federation. Once he saw that Stitch had a capacity for change, a capacity for love, he switched and said, oh, Stitch is not just a weapon. This is a creature of intelligence. And then fought to protect Stitch and what he cared about. In the new movie, it was like Stitch is a weapon of mass destruction. Oh, he has the capacity for change? No, he's still just a weapon that I can manipulate. Like, that was one of the things where he went from mad scientist to insane person, essentially. As opposed to mad scientist to cool uncle figure. Because that's the other thing. If they try and make a sequel, right? Jumba and Pleakley played a big part in Lilo's character growth, in Lilo's upbringing. Going forward into, like, Leroy and Stitch, which I have, like, next to zero recollection of. But, so, from that standpoint as well, it's like, like, they'll have to completely, like, rework the story in order to make it fit with the, like, new story that they have written. Which, I will say, alright, Bob, take care. Thanks for stopping by. Lulu's always very neurodivergent coded. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, she... Like, I could fully see her being both autistic and having ADHD. I could see both of them. Now, I'm not gonna diagnose her or anything like that, but I could fully see it. But yeah, no, like, one of the other examples, right? Ready Player One. Which, I absolutely loved the movie. I read the book because I liked the movie so much. The book is such a different story. I like the book better than the movie, but they're so different in terms of the way they're told. To the point, I will say, them making a sequel, I'm really curious how they're going to handle it. Because one of the things, and spoilers for the 2018 movie, and the book from even earlier. In the movie, at the end of the movie, Parzival shuts down the Oasis on certain days of the week, right? He shuts it down so people can live in the real world. In the book, he doesn't do that. The second book, Ready Player 2, deals with that. There is something that comes out that is essentially full dive technology that then gets people stuck in the Oasis because they're spending so much time there. Because it's this idea of, okay, everyone is spending so much time in the Oasis, it might as well be real life for them. Because the way the movie handled the ending, that's not feasible anymore. That storytelling thing, they would have to switch a lot of gears in order to get it to work. So I'm curious about how they're gonna do that. Anyway. Have to rely on other senses like sharks do. Alright. I've gotten so much better at this game. For a movie talk stream at this point. I could do that. I could actually go through, after I take a break and everything, I might actually go through and just talk some movies. I'll probably do a watch-along at some point. Obviously, for copyright reasons, I can't, like, show the movie or anything like that. But I might do a watch-along of specifically How to Train Your Dragon. Because, like, I have not seen those movies in a while, and I'd love to rewatch them. The issue would be, when it comes to talking about movies and stuff like that, I obviously go on long rants. And one of the things that I would need to do is I would want to pause a lot to talk about specific things. But the issue with that is I realistically can't. Because the way it would have to work would be going through and pausing a timer. So the way that movie watch-alongs work on streams is I will essentially have a timer on screen for how far into the movie we're at. And so, from then, you guys would be able to watch the movie with me, but I would not be showing the movie on screen. Now, the issue with that is when I pause the movie to talk about something, the timer gets off track. Climbed, we unclimbed, and now we're here. I hope Gramps really is at the launch pad. See a pipe connected to the rocket. What could go wrong? The creation's in ball form because he had no reason to believe the council wouldn't kill him. Yeah, yeah. Which, that's the other thing. 625 was an active character. But 626 was a modification of 625 in the new movie. So that means the other experiments are just like iterations as opposed to separate experiments. Which means that they can't really go that route either. I love that you can just walk through the pipe. The Spirit Lifter steerage. Alright, here we go. Final stretch. Now, after playing through all of Splatoon 1, all of Splatoon 2, all of Octo expansion, this is gonna be so much easier. The Octo expansion part especially, because that sucked as an expansion. That was so hard. Good chaos, but he didn't come off as malevolent being that enjoyed murder. Exactly. Yeah. He was a chaos gremlin, not a homicidal maniac. That was actually close. Don't mind me. Alright, here we go. Being wild fun rather than intending malice. Exactly, yeah. Alright, here we go. Yes, thank you. Thank you notification that I didn't need. Alright, here we go. Oops. Let's do that again. Alright, here we go. And up. And on there. Awesome. And here. Dang it, I missed one. I think. Yeah, I did miss one. There we go. One left. Ah, here. There we go. Alright, here we go. Did anything I must... Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's a difference between a creature being full of malice and a creature just being chaotic. Alright. There we go. 3 components to my business plan. The vessel, the spirit, and the wisdom of ages. Someone is taking notes, yes? What are you blathering on about? Hey, don't come any closer. Your brain. Ensconced though it may be in your head. You know, come to think of it, how did Mr. Grizz survive the extinction of all mammals? Because I know the cats were cryogenically frozen. Dehydrated in his prime. Oh. Welcome. Hey, you overgrown furball, turn Gramps back into Gramps. Valued employees, we appreciate your feedback. However, it will not be implemented at this time. I love that he uses, like, business talk as, like, threats. I love that so much. It means the end of your employment. And the end of the world as you know it, to be clear. As per my memo, I will be coating the planet in fuzzy ooze in an effort to restore balance. Don't call it Haramageddon. HR doesn't like that. So or 4 hours, like 20 times it would not die. Yeah. But this is like thousands of years into the future, like... There would need to be some form of repopulation going on there. Low quality eye texture. Ooh, somebody got the drop on me. Anybody else feeling a bit parched? Also feeling a bit lighter, and way flatter. Talking squid jerky, you're alive? Thank goodness you're, alright-ish. Hey, wait, we're still in danger. The rocket, the fuzz. Well, we'll never catch that rocket. It's impossible. What can we do? Sounds like you folks need some help. And Deep Cut is here to steal the spotlight. Here. And here we go. I don't know why. I find that moment really cool. Like, that moment just kind of, like, does it for me. That and this. Well, well, such dedication to your work. I think you've earned yourself a break. Now come here so I can break you. Yep. Damn it. Do I need to... Oh, I need to do this first. That's right. You're not clocking out that easy. Like, this just... I don't know. This part is awkward. But I love that they're somehow, like, combining Salmon Run and the main story. I really like that they, like, kind of took that. Up. Forgot about that. Yeah. Ugh. I've never been good at this section. This section was always really awkward for me. Nope. Ah, damn it. Trying to not only deal with enemies, but also trying to deal with, like, the rotation, like, as a mix is never, like, is not fun. Because you need to focus on the enemies, but at the same time, you need to focus on not dying. But the enemies make it infinitely harder to not die. Let's try with this. Nope. Okay. And I'm dead. Maybe not. Because this part just gets repetitive. Because this is all it is until you get to the, like, big finale. There we go, that's 2. Yeah, I'll say this much. I definitely like DJ Octavio a lot more as a final boss. Mechanic-wise. Thematic-wise, I think this is a better final boss. And, like, the final section here is awesome, but, like... I don't know. It's just a matter of, like... This whole thing just kind of feels bad to play. Yep, I'm dead. Apparently not. Okay. Alright, here we go. This part of the fight I like. You're proactive, aren't you? But it's time to clock out. In a few moments, Earth will be ruled by mammals once again. And welcome back, Bob. Just in time for the big finale. Not if I crash you a big finish. You're not dropping this beat on our turf. I'll hype you up from here, Agent 3. I have the volume really loud, so if anyone follows or does anything, it's gonna be extra loud. I apologize heavily. Actually, I'll turn it down. There we go. Just in case. Yeah. Steal the Octobot King and vacuum those fuzzballs up. 3 minutes and 33 seconds. I'll be honest, this is going so much cleaner than my first playthrough. Yeah, a lot less. The times have changed. The world can never be as it was. Moving forward is the future. I suppose this is it then. You will not receive severance pay. I love how the UI started glitching out during that final blast. It's just details like that I really love. That's one of those things that whenever they do a space shot like that, it looks like the ship is so much larger than Earth because the model is, you know? Like, it looks so much like it's just gonna, like, it feels like it's physically shrinking as opposed to just getting further away. Alright, let me turn my audio stuff back on. Okay, there we go. Such a good choice as well. Yeah, although it's like that anyways. Thank you for the stretch and hydration. Yeah, no, there's not usually any, like, music at that point. The music doesn't start until you start the cast. But, I love when games that normally do have music decide to not have music. Like, for example, Borderlands 2, right? And spoiler for a 15-year-old game, something like that, 15, 16-year-old game. When Roland dies, the entire section afterwards, there's no music whatsoever, despite the fact that one of the big things the Borderlands series is known for is having really good ambience. There's none of that after that moment, and it just, like, a lot of people don't realize that silence is as loud as music in a situation. Like, for example, I can't show this on stream, but, for one of my classes, like a video editing class that I took, we had to make a trailer out of a movie, and I chose Deadpool. And one of the big things I played with was, silence. Specifically, the way I framed it was the start of the trailer acted incredibly serious until a beat in the trailer where, like, Deadpool has a one-liner and then it goes into Careless Whisper. But during that first, like, serious moment, I specifically played with silent parts where it's like, specifically, the way I played it was, and I'll send this in the Discord, later. Or at least I'll try to. I don't know if I can. I feel like the file's gonna be too big. But essentially, the way I played with it is it was shot between two things. There was the opening scene with, like, the car chase, and I played that very seriously, interspersed with, moments of, Wade getting the, cancer diagnosis. If it comes down to it, yeah, maybe. And I interspersed the two of them, but during the cancer diagnosis, there was no visual, no background audio. Now, of course, I used the actual movie, so there's going to be some background audio that I couldn't take out because I don't have the raw footage. But, essentially, during that moment, there's no visuals. It was just to the dialogue, interspersed with, like, loud, just action scene sounds. There wasn't really any background music, that if I could help it. And, of course, once Careless Whisper comes in, it was its own thing. But one of the big things there is, my professor actually commented on it, is, like, it was really good use of absence. People don't realize how strong silence is when it comes to an impactful moment. Because, you know, you think of movies, you think an impactful moment, there's always this, like, swell of music. If it's, like, an emotional scene, you typically have this, like, somber music playing. when you have, like, for example, a really powerful moment, you have this swell of music, like, if you think How to Train Your Dragon, it's like that moment of like, da, 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 and so on. I can't go much longer because of copyright. But like that swell of music, and then you have like this really, like that sort of thing. You typically have music associated with powerful moments. But if you take a step back from that and cut the music, and it's just whatever moment it is, that is just as powerful. Yes, music helps you feel emotions, but absence of music, like, just does not... I do not know about that, Bob. But yeah, even in writing, like, if you leave something out, it can be just as strong as stating. Like, it's the example of show don't tell, right? Except in this case, it's not necessarily telling so much as hearing? I don't know. But, like, it's one of those things where it's like, if you have no audio to base it off of, that can be just, like, no audio, no visual. It can be just as powerful as if you had something explaining what emotion you're supposed to feel. Like, I'll give an example. Project Sakai. Colorful Stage. The rhythm game. Not the movie. I'm not going to spoil the movie. But in one of the events, there's this really powerful moment where essentially there's a character saying, you can't do this. Like, I'm not... It's much later in the story. So I don't want to give spoilers. But there's a moment where there's characters trying to achieve a goal. And another character comes in and just involved in their goal. And just outright says, you're not good enough. Rather than having any sort of music, it's just silence for that reveal. And then, of course, music comes in afterwards and whatnot, but, like, there's just silence for a while. And what that does is it makes it where, like, the only thing in your mind is that dialogue. The only thing in your mind is that moment. There's no audio to distract you from what was just said. And so it's one of those things where it's like, absence is very impactful and a lot of people don't realize it. Return of the Great Zapfish. Okay, is it safe? Is that all you got, big man? What's next? This is about the new Squid Sister single, right? Because if so, yeah, I've heard about it. And yeah, I'm big mad about it. It says Squid Sisters on label, but look at these two. Is it really them? That's Boss Marie and her assistant lady. They're the Squid Sisters? Forgive us, boss ladies. They really are our bosses. Deep Cut will open for the Squid Sisters anytime. When are we going on tour? Let's play their latest. Here's Wave Goodbye. The entire page is full when his wife and mother die on the same day. The only thing he writes down is the light of my life has gone out in the middle of the page. Yeah. Yeah, like... It's one of the things where... Oh, right, this is... Oh, yeah, it's in space. So the ink, like, kind of just floats. Anyway. Yeah, in my creative writing class, we were talking about poetry, specifically. And, one of the big things you can do with poetry... And this applies for all writing, but more so... visual writing as opposed to like spoken writing, right? Is play with space. And you can kind of see this in Doki Doki Literature Club. One of the things that one of the characters does, it's been so long since I played it. One of the things that they do with one of the poems is I think it was Monica. They have like normal poetry, and then they skip to the bottom of the page where there's just empty space, and that final line is a lot more impactful because it shows that that one line has a lot more weight than the rest of the poem. And it's because of the absence that makes it better. That makes it more powerful. And that's another instance of, like, people don't realize how powerful absence is. And, like, there's that whole saying of, like, absence makes the heart grow fonder. And that's more for, like, a social relationship setting. But it is also true for other things. Because you go through and, the absence of music makes things more impactful. The absence of writing makes it more powerful. It's not necessarily fonder, but more powerful. So when it comes to a social setting, makes the heart grow fonder because the absence made the feelings for that person more powerful. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, it's strong. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with this. But just, yeah. A lot of people don't realize just how powerful absence is. Silence, like, visual absence, stuff like that. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can't get my trailer edit into Discord. It's not in this folder. Is it in here? It's another example. Cowboy Bebop. Now, I haven't watched every episode, but I caught bits and pieces of it while my friends were watching it. The ending of the anime, where rather than having music, for, like, the big final fight, it's just sound effects, and it made it so much more impactful, like, to me. And that's kind of what they were going for. It's kind of like the point, right? Okay, I don't have it in this folder. Okay. I need to re-download it off my Google Drive then. Welcome back, Oglim. We beat the game. And we're currently going through a talk about absence in terms of media. And I'm going to be trying to grab my my trailer that I made for class. Now, I don't know if I have any sensitive information in it, because it was for a class, so it might have my, like, my legal name in there. So I'm gonna check it out first. Make sure there's nothing in there that I need to edit out, and then I will send it in the Discord or figure something out there. See, this is just the basic opening. Alright, well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one full attempt at the hidden level, the secret kettle. Now, I'm in a different location, so that, you know, game opening was a different perspective as well. Yeah. Alright. Can I? I can't. Okay, so that... Yeah, those are amiibos. I really like that top. I don't know. Anyway. Alterna. Secret kettle. Sorry. So here's... Yeah. Nope. Where was it? Over here. There we go. Oh, I almost walked it right off there. Now this is my full save. Here we go. Now this is an incredibly difficult stage. Designed as like a final test of skill. See if I remember how to... go about doing most of this. Kinda, yeah. And that's not something that they teach you. That squid surge there. Like, you can see why I got so much better at the game after, like, beating the stage, right? I did so many attempts at this. Oops. Alright, this part is hard. Okay. Okay. That was so close. Okay. You can see, we're not even close to done. Alright, here we go. Ah, damn it. Ah, I knew I had to do that. But there's no checkpoints, so... At least not yet. And when I say not yet, that just goes to show how long this stage is. That there hasn't been a checkpoint yet, but there is a checkpoint at some point in the level. That was a close one. Need to remember I can actually use that. That. But yeah, this is the gauntlet. I had to learn how to do this for this stage specifically. Like, I had to learn how to do squid surges, like, out off of walls, specifically so I could beat this stage. Like, that's how much it doesn't tell you about that. Oh yeah, and you can't just hold on to this because it keeps going. And if you hold on until the end, you drop into the water. So, yeah. Alright, here we go. Now, I'm going to actually take my time here. Because the good news is, the ink doesn't wear off on in the water. So I don't need to worry about that. Oh, that was a close one. Sure. There we go. And launch pad. Hello, Vala. Welcome in. Hey, guess what? We hit a checkpoint. Just one. Come on! I was clicking the button and it wasn't doing it. Yeah, so this one I can almost guarantee I'm not gonna beat. Cause I am noticing that like there seems to be some like input lag on the rails, which I don't remember if they were there before. What the fuck? Okay. I'm retrying from the checkpoint. I'm actually mad about that one. I got so lucky there. Okay. Yeah, that one sucks. Oh, when I first did it, it took me like countless tries. Like, that was not something that I was good at by any means. Oh, I had to have a lot of faith with that one. Alright. I don't remember if this is the last section. I feel like there's one more after this. Right, okay. Throw you on there. Just so I have the extra time. There we go. Alright. Damn it. Oh, damn it. I have to start back here. Fuck. Oh. I'm not gonna go too much longer. I'll probably do one more, like, full attempt. At this section. Because that's kind of bullshit. Alright, alright. We're doing good, we're doing good. I had to speak, didn't I? I hate this section. I will say I hated the other section more when I first played it, but I hate this section more now. Now that I'm, like, more experienced in this game. Alright, here we go. Take 2 at this section. And here we go. Another checkpoint. And not the final one, mind you. All of this and we're still not on the final checkpoint. Now this section, I will say, sucks. Though, to be fair, all of these sections have kind of sucked so far. Except the first one. The first one was fine. But, like, we're not even on the final section yet. Oh no. There we go. And I will take the next one. All right. Here we go. What? Here we go. Okay. So, here's kind of the dilemma. Yeah, I'll take another like hearty go, because we are close. We are incredibly close to the end of this. Because there's one more section after this, but it's just a matter of... This section is not easy by any means. Because that last section is, like, incredibly, like, unfortunate to die on. Because it really is a make or break situation with that one. Because either either you make it or you don't. There's no failsafe for like anything like that. You fuck up once and you're done. Which means I feel like Burst Bomb might be the best option. What is the distance Burst Bomb has? If I jump, it's... Because that didn't reach. So I'm thinking I have to do that. Which I'm not looking forward to. Because I don't think you can make the jump between the two. Alright, we go on this one. Right. Nope, I was wrong. That did make it, though. I had plenty of space. Good news is we know what to do. Bad news is we need to get there to do it again. Alright, we go on this one. Alright, make sure I'm on Burst Bomb. Alright. And we go. You do need a jump of faith there, but it's not jump of faith to hit it. Alright, this should be the final section. I forgot about this section! Fuck! Remember how I hated fighting the, Octoling, they're not Octolings, are they? I mean, I guess they technically are, they're just brainwashed. Anyway, remember how I hated fighting the Octolings in the Mist? Or just fighting the Octolings in Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion? Yeah, this is that. But worse. Okay, maybe not worse than Splatoon 2, but... let's do this. You would think, oh, just 3 enemies left. That's not bad. Until you hit phase 2. Where, guess what? They have specials. And only specials. Okay, maybe not. Oh, it's the next one. This is the sub-weapon use one. The next one is just specials. This one gave me so much trouble. And I can guarantee it's going to cause me a lot more trouble. Hello, homing. Alright. Here's the difficult part. Yep. And we're good. Okay. Okay. I have no clue how many are left. 3 more, okay. But this is not good. Yeah, and guess what? We have to start from phase 1. You see why this one gives me trouble. You can't lose your armor until that final phase. Essentially. Get back here, you bitch. Like, I got so good at PvP from this. Like, this is why I'm able to do what I can now when I'm facing off in, like, actual Turf War matches. Is because this fucking section right here. That and, side order. Because side order is just really good for figuring out how to dodge stuff. And goodbye. And goodbye. Goodbye. Come on, please. Okay. Okay, I got a breather there. Not a blaster, please. Okay, we're good. Okay. Now imagine running out of eggs. so that you have to completely redo this stage from the start. Because you need to go collect more eggs before you can do anything. That was my life when I was doing this stage. Yep, there goes the armor. I know that was a waste of a hammer, but I really wanted to get some range in there. Okay, okay, okay. And there we go, 15 minutes. But yeah, no, imagine being on that phase and running out of eggs to retry. That was my life for a while. It sucked. But you know, this is like, oh, I'm not fully maxed. Huh. Interesting. But yeah, like this isn't 100% save file or anything like that. But I've done all of the kettles at least once. So. Alright. Well, I'm gonna call it there. So on Friday, I will be starting up side order. I think I can do it on my secondary account. If not, I don't know. My big thing is I really want to experience that ending again, because that ending was so good to me. Like, it's one of my favorite endings, period, in this game. In this series. So I really want to go through that again. If I can't do that on my secondary account, I'll have to do it on my base save somehow without losing all of my progress. So we'll have to see what happens. But in that case, thank you everybody so much for coming by. Hope you all have a wonderful time zone. Make sure you take care of yourself, drink some water, get some rest, all that good stuff. And I'll see you next time. Well.